Hey guys, what's going on? It's Claude Johnson here. Today I want to talk about mastering the fretboard. So I have a couple things to say about this. Hopefully some of it's helpful. Alright, so first of all, one of my teachers told me mastering the fretboard is a lifelong goal. So that sort of helps, it takes the pressure off because it can get frustrating, like no matter how, it feels like sometimes no matter how much you learn, there's always like more. And that's really actually true. So, even within like one scale, you can always learn like more. You can always figure out like new ways to connect things. That being said, you can achieve mastery over some basic things. So, let's talk about that. Let's get into it. Now, I think the most fundamental thing when it comes to mastering the fretboard is like knowing where the notes are and like knowing the basic layout. I look at the layout of the guitar sort of based on like some octave shapes. So let me explain like what I mean here. Let's just say the key of G. You have your basic octave shapes. So here's one, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one, and then here's the last one. Okay, so now I remember getting into a not an argument, but a discussion with another one of my teachers a while back, and he was saying how he likes to think of things as there being 7 different patterns, and that's sort of true for like 7-note scales. You could like start on any of the 7 notes, but there's a lot of overlap. So for example, like if you have G major, you could look at the Locrian mode starting in the F sharp. But that really just like overlaps, except for that one note here. It's like all the same notes. So I think in terms of just understanding the layout, like visualizing the whole neck, it's better to just think of things as in 5 patterns. It's simpler, and it makes a lot of sense because even though your scale might have more than 5 notes, there's only like 5 places where your root's going to be. And the reason for that is because there's only 5 strings on the guitar. Well, okay, there's 6 strings, but the high E and low E are basically the same. So if, in this position here, my G up here and my G down here are in the exact same spot. So when you have this, it's like what I call a double octave pattern. You have this, and then you have this. But it's really like one position. Okay? So your next position here, your next one here, your next one here, and then this one. This is another double pattern where you have both your low G and high G, but then your the other note, instead of going like forward on the D string, you're just going back on the G string. All right, so really get to know those shapes. Now, another thing is like, just in terms of like how I'm approaching this, when I have an octave pattern like this one, I can visualize like multiple scales within that. So, for example, G minor pentatonic. When I play this, I'm still visualizing this basic shape. I can switch to G major pentatonic. Again, I'm still keeping that sort of in my mind. Even if I'm not necessarily thinking about that while I'm playing, it's sort of there in the background. I know where I am. I know where this fits in. Any scale, Mixolydian, and so on. Melodic minor even. Okay, it's the same. It's like there's my G's, okay? And you do that for each of the 5 positions. Okay, so that's like the kind of the basics. I think that goes a long way. The next big thing is like playing in all 12 keys, and like going through the cycle of fifths or the cycle of fourths. I used to, I remember like reading guitar books back in the day where the author said, oh, you need to practice in 12 keys, and I always thought that was kind of like unrealistic, I guess, because it just takes too long. But that's sort of almost like a mindset thing. Like once you get used to playing things in 12 keys, it doesn't necessarily need to take that long. It depends, you know. But one thing that really helps is just knowing like the circle of fours. You know, you should be able to rattle off, you know, C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G. So, for example, let's just say I was practicing like this dominant 7 arpeggio. Okay, so that's in the key of C. Now, if I know my circle of fourths, I can just, you know, again, say C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, and so on. So there's my C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat or F sharp, B, E, A, D, G. Okay, so it should be that smooth to just go from one thing to the other. And as I'm practicing that, I can sort of get a handle on like where are all the notes, like where's all the C's. Okay, here's my C, here's my F, okay, here's my B flat, here's my E flat, here's my A flat, and so on. So I think those two things, just like knowing where your 5 octave shapes are and how they fit together, and then playing a few different things through the cycle of fours, that really helps. That really helped me anyway to just kind of get a better grasp on the fretboard. And again, it doesn't mean I've like mastered it. You never fully master it. There's always more, but you can master the basics in that way, and I think that helps. All right, so hopefully this was helpful. That's it for now, and don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I'll put some links in the description so you can get more of my good stuff, and I'll talk to you soon.